Mr. Speaker, members will already be aware the government is Bermuda's largest employer. As of November 2018, there were 4,680 employees in the public service. Mr. Speaker, the government's workforce is represented by 6 unions and/or associations, and the conditions of employment are set out in several collective bargaining agreements and/or conditions of service orders. Mr. Speaker, human resource services are delivered in accordance with statutory provisions as set out in the Public Service Commission Regulations 2001 and the Public Service Delegation of Powers Regulations 2001, as well as statutory provisions contained in other legislation such as Contributory Pensions Act 1970, Payroll Tax Act 1995, Payroll Tax Rates Act 1995, and Public Service Superannuation Act 1981, to name a few. Mr. Speaker, currently the government of Bermuda relies on a decentralized HR service delivery model which has grown organically over the years. Services are delivered by way of 68 posts spread across 9 different human resource departments and units in addition to the Department of Human Resources. Notably, the Department of Human Resources is only responsible for provision of human resources services to the members of the Bermuda Public Services Union general membership. Those officers traditionally referred to as civil servants, which is approximately 40% of the workforce. Mr. Speaker, some of the primary HR functions, including employee compensation and benefits and job evaluations, are executed outside of the Human Resource Services Centers by the Accountant General's Department and the Management Consulting Section Cabinet Office, respectively. Mr. Speaker, this decentralized delivery model, coupled with the layers of collective agreement and regulatory requirements, has long been regarded as an impediment to the public service. Resultantly, there is duplication of effort, inconsistent service delivery, a weighty compliance regime, and an inordinate amount of time to execute basic functions. Further, there is limited talent management across every level of the service, as well as a lack of consistent performance structure, including recognition and aligning performance commitments with career development. Mr. Speaker, this government aims to establish conditions within the public service that attracts, develops, motivates, and retains a quality talent pool, an environment where a strong performance culture is present and public officers are rewarded for effectiveness and achievements of clearly stated outcomes. A workplace where public officers feel empowered and accountable for achieving performance metrics. To this end, the government has taken the decision to reform its human resources function to ensure increased efficiency, effectiveness, and equity. Mr. Speaker, the government will take steps to centralize its human resources and organizational development functions. The Cabinet Office, working through a project team and using a consultative and collaborative approach, has designed a new structure which aligns all HR services under one department. The new structure will facilitate the strategic repositioning of the role of the HR with respect to organizational capital development and improvement. Mr. Speaker, the new structure, to be entitled the Department of Employee and Organizational Development, establishes a strategic leadership and change management position. The proposed Chief Employee and Organizational Development Officer will lead the transformational change and develop high-impact strategies and programs in consultation with stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, the new department is expected to result in improved service delivery and understanding of the business needs through the creation of HR business partners. It will have the responsibility for managing all 7 union agreements and union partners, which is expected to enhance labor relations and employment practices within the service. The introduction of an employee relations advisor will also enable a proactive approach to industrial and employee relations. Mr. Speaker, the talent acquisition manager will modernize recruitment and position the government as an employer of choice. The creation of a dedicated recruitment unit will reduce time to recruit. A renewed focus on talent management will improve the government's capability to deliver value to the public by developing a talent pool and thus fulfilling critical skills gap. Mr. Speaker, further, an HR system specialist is fundamental for the digital transformation of HR, a critical enabler for success of the proposed structure. Moreover, the service will benefit from integrated employee management services. Mr. Speaker, given the complexity and magnitude of the change, the structure will be implemented in 3 phases. Phase 1, the new department will be established administratively. The Chief Employee and Organizational Development Officer will be recruited, and the transfer of the Management Consulting section and the Compensation and HR and Benefits section to the new department will be completed. It is expected that Phase 1 will occur over the next 6 months. Mr. Speaker, Phases 2 and 3, which will see the transition of all the other HR resources from across government into the new department, will be executed over the course of 12 to 24 months. As a part of the latter phases, the existing Department of Human Resources will be abolished. As a note, Mr. Speaker, it is anticipated that all of the existing resources will be incorporated into new roles within the new department. Mr. Speaker, the new Department of Employee and Organization Development will be built on a shared services philosophy, which will reduce the duplication of services as well as ultimately reduce the cost of service delivery. Mr. Speaker, this government will continue to take bold steps to transform the public service as we work toward establishing a future forward government for the people of Bermuda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.